Yo, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be bringing you a base setup for the Formula C. Now, I don't normally mess around with the Formula cars, but at VR Room I think we're going to be running them in the league, so I'm going to give you a setup and hopefully get everybody on the pace, get everyone up to speed with the Formula car. So yeah, let's get started. Now, first things first, you want the soft slicks. Obviously for this type of car you want as much grip as possible. Tyre pressures I've gone 110 on the front and 112 on the rear. That's just a personal preference, and I thought it gave me quite a lot of grip going through the corners, carrying as much speed as possible. Brake pressure 74% and my brake balance is on 61. Brake ducts on 15%. Now, I'm very much a late braker, so I do like to brake late. That's why my brake pressure is so low, so I can just slam on. Now to downforce. Downforce is the world for this car, so 19.5 on the front, 15 on the rear, gives you loads of grip going through the corners, carries so much speed, and the longitude weight bias, I've got it dead central, which is 55%. Now we're going to the alignment. My steering ratio 12.91. I didn't want it too tight so the front slides across the track, but also wanted it quick enough so I can, change of direction as fast as possible. The caster angle's at 6.0. I've got my front cambers on 0.4, minus 0.4, and that gives us a little bit of turning when we get into the tight corners. Everything else is on 0, 0, 0, 0. We know in this game cambers on 0 as low as possible for straight line speed. Now to the ride height, we've got it 33 at the front and 50 at the rear, just so the rear can absorb the bumps a little better, and it gives you a little bit more front grip when you raise the rear of the car. Now my spring rate's stiff at the front again, and you'll see at the rear springs we've gone soft again. That's just as I said before, give the car a little bit more maneuverability over the bumps, and it's not as stiff and it won't unsettle the car as much when you hit curbs and stuff like that. For the sway bars, we've got the front on 45 and the rear on 45, just to balance out the dynamics of the car. Pretty soft, but as we said, we want to make sure we can absorb bumps in the car like this, because if your car is too stiff, once you hit a bump you've just got no chance. Now I'm on to the bump stops. I've got them 10 at the front, pretty stiff, and the rear is only on 2, which again highlights what I was trying to say before, making sure the rear is soft so it can absorb the bumps. With the slow bumps, I've gone 8,000 on the front, 3,600 on the rear. That's just personal preference. For the fast bumps, we've gone for 1,000 on the front and 500 on the rear. Then again, dropping the rear right as soft as possible as we can. For the slow rebounds, we've gone 6,000 all round, and for the fast rebound we've gone 5,200 on the front, 1,400 on the rear, and that's just to make sure we don't get too much oversteer over curbs, so you can take curbs without sliding about. Limited slip acceleration on 0, deceleration on 100 to stop the rear from coming round. Limited slip preload on 0, radiator on 40. My final drive, I've got 3.25, and the gears as follows: 2.75, 2.20, 1.79, 152, 131 and 114. And yeah, that's just to basically make sure your gears are programmed for the track you're actually driving. And fuel load, I've got basically 17 litres, 10 laps of fuel, brake mapping on 7, and yeah, pretty much that's a base setup for the Formula C. Now it may change, your gears might change for a certain track, so you may want to lower the downforce at certain tracks, but generally this is the setup I'll be using. This is my force feedback settings. You can see on the first page it's basically stock, and I think I did change it just a little bit for the second page. Now I'm not saying everyone has to run these force feedback settings, but these are the settings that I like for this particular car. So let's head to track and see what time we can get. I think yesterday we did race these cars and the fastest time was a 1:27.3, which me and MGO managed. So let's head to track and see what we can do.